Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm with one of my best friends right now, Aaron Worsfold, and we're doing the Husker Hype Radio podcast. Aaron, I like that headband.
Thank you, Eddie. It's my marathon headband. And folks, if you notice anything different about me, I got a haircut.
Boo.
I'm going with the old military cut. But yes, this is my favorite headband.
Dude, yeah, I swiped up on Mackenzie's story and I said, we want the mullet, and she didn't respond. She's like the only one happy about it seems like.
She knew it was coming. She wasn't like a fan of the mullet and whatnot. But everybody I've talked to is like, well, 80% of the people I talked to were like, bring back the mullet. That was sick, blah, blah, blah. But then like most of the responses also, but you look fine now. And I'm like, okay, as long as I look okay, it's fine.
Yeah, you look good. You look good, pal.
Thank you, pal.
But the mullet's fucking badass, dude. I mean, yeah. I don't know if anybody saw the pictures of Aaron with the cutoff and the jean shorts and the mullet and the pit vipers. That's a fucking Nebraskan right there, going into Memorial Stadium and just drinking beer.
I had another person today at work go, "Hey, did you go to the Nebraska-Michigan game?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I saw you with your mullet and your jeans, your jorts, and your crop top." And I was like, "Oh yeah, baby."
Dude, you're an image. You're an icon around there.
Yeah, that it feels good. It feels good.
All right, dude, let's get into it. Coming off of a freaking W, Nebraska wins 20-7. Can I get a quarter pounder with cheese and a big red W, please? Let's go, dude.
Let's go, Eddie.
How about that?
It feels good to get a win. 3-3, 1-2 in Big Ten play. What are your keys, takeaways, your overall bird's eye view takeaway from the games here?
Stream was great. It was electric. We had tons of fun, and you didn't watch it for your first game this whole year, not seeing it live. That had to be a little different from you. But from my point of view, man, it was great. Did I think we should have scored about 40 more points? Yes, we'll get to that later. But at the end of the day, Matt Rule's first year, when we haven't had a lot of things go for us our way, today or Saturday, we got a W. A W is a W in my book. On to the next week. We improve, we move on, and we fucking learn from our mistakes and get better every week, dude.
And off a short week after Coach Rule's like, well, I hope these guys can still buy in and blah, blah, blah after getting their asses kicked. I hope they can, because they had like, I guess, like a really grueling practice the Sunday after the loss on Saturday to Michigan.
Full pad Sunday.
Yeah, and it sounded grueling. And the boys turned up and they responded well.
And I think that there's just some things here that I really like what Matt Rule's doing, man. He said also, yes, they practice with full pads on Sunday, which is like nobody does that. But when it needs to be done, that's what you got to do. And that's what they did. And then also a big thing in his press conference last week was playing to win, not playing to lose. And that's what I think Nebraska did, especially on defense this game. I mean, I think let's start with the defense here, Aaron, because those guys were the star of the show. And if you remember the first drive, it gave me a freaking boner, dude. Holy shit. I mean, they drove down the field, 74 yards, 74 and 11/12 yards. But they didn't get that last 12th, dude. Nope. The black shirt defense stopped them, and that's what fires. That's playing to win, dude. That's not fucking, hey, sitting back and going, all right, these guys got this one. Let's get the offense out there. No, this is the mindset where, hey, we're on the fucking 1 inch line. Motherfucker, I got this inch. This is my inch. You're not getting it, dude. That's setting the tone. That's playing black shirt football, playing to win.
Absolutely. Dude, the first drive, you're right. I think they were going down on us actually at a good clip. And I was like, fuck, dude, they're moving the ball. Like, this is going to be bad. And then all of a sudden we stopped them on the goal line. I'm going berserk with my mom and my dad. We're high-fiving. And what I do, I went over to the Husker Hype radio stream and I just watched you boys go crazy because I was just like a little bit ahead of you, and it was nuts. And then the best part after that is then we went down and we got a field goal. We got some points. We went 70 something yards and we got some points.
Yes. And what I thought on defense also was that fourth down, it was 4th and goal, and Illinois called a timeout. So Nebraska was prepared. Illinois had to call a timeout to make sure, do we really want to do this? We got to drop a game plan. And if they did the sideline, they did the camera at both coaches. Bielema looked like he had a fucking turtle head sticking out of his butt, dude. He was about ready to shit his pants. You look over at Tony White and Matt Rule, these guys are smiling, dude. They're smiling. They're going, hey, we got this. I believe in our guys. And that's just something as little, like, that's huge, bro. That's not something small. If these coaches are confident in their players to get a stop at the 1-inch line, that fires you up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That fires you up. Playing to win, setting the tone. And that's what Nebraska did on that first drive.
And then, I mean, as a defensive player, and maybe you can talk about this because you were a defensive guy yourself. I mean, that's got to make the boys feel good. The first drive you're out there, black shirts make a stop. You got to be going berserk and have some momentum the rest of the game.
Bro, it's 1 fucking inch, and they stopped. Like, that 4th and goal, they had to say, hey, the center literally had the ball over the goal line. He put it up. And so a fucking frog hair. They were a frog hair away from the goal line, and they stopped him, man. Frog hair. And yeah, that does fire you up. And then you know what? On defense, you got their ass the next drive because, motherfucker, you can't even gain an inch on us, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I love that, dude. I love that.
Yeah, we only held them to 7 points.
7 points, 20-7.
And 21 rush yards, 289 pass yards. Allmeyer was only 29 for 47. Not great, not bad. Overall, Blackshirts showed out. They're the strength of our team.
21 rush yards, Aaron. 19 carries, 21 rush yards. That's going up. That's the best numbers in the nation, man. And honestly, I'm looking back at this Michigan game now, and I'm going, it's not that this Blackshirt defense is that bad or is bad. They're not. We've seen the other 5 fucking games. It's just they didn't come to play that day. I mean, yeah, granted, you got to come to play every day, and that's not what a good team does. But Matt Rule's first year, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. The boys weren't ready to play that day, so I'm throwing that one out of the record.
Mm-hmm.
We're 3-2.
Yeah. Well, and like you got to give your hats off to Michigan. I mean, like, they're head and shoulders above the other teams that we played. Like, they're so fucking good. But that's true, I think basically every other team in the Big Ten, especially in the West, bro, we're in every game.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. And I do think that Michigan is elite. Nebraska is not in the elite conversation yet, but that's okay. We're going to have some years. It's Matt Rule's got to build this team, build this program. And we're not where Jim Harbaugh and Michigan are. So you're right. Hats off to them. We're not going to be there next year or the year after that, but it's coming.
Yeah.
So get ready, motherfuckers. It's coming.
Absolutely.
We got a fumble, dude. We got a fumble on defense that was pretty much an interception. It was Phelan Sanford, Nebraska kid, hits the ball up in the air. Tommy Hill recovers. And then the interception, Quentin Newsome in the 4th quarter near the end of the game. That was badass. And yeah, I'd really say that this defense, the biggest thing I see them struggle with is not the rush, because they're fucking killer at the rush, dude. They'll stop that shit.
8th in the country. 8th in the country.
And it probably is. If you take that Michigan game out, we're fucking number 1. I guarantee you. If you don't count that Michigan game. And then no really deep, like big plays on them, but it's really the medium, I feel like 7 to 14, 15-yard plays where they're finding holes, but then open field tackling is killer. So they're not, so it's just those middle passes, particularly in the middle of the field, that they really struggle with. But other than that, dude, these guys are fucking solid. They tackle in space. They don't let motherfuckers run on them. No big down the sideline pass plays allowed. I'm horny for this defense, dude.
Yeah. No, Eddie, I agree completely. We're 247 pass yards allowed per game. That's 13th in the Big Ten. Not a great stat. Definitely the weak point. And you're right. It's always when we give them some cushion, give them some pressure, have a zone, they find the pockets and they make exactly what you said, the 7 to 14 yard passes that
Yeah.
aren't detrimental. It's kind of a bend don't break mentality. Like we're not letting up anything huge, but it's
Yeah.
enough to kind of wear away at you at times.
I think that's the thing, bro. And those don't happen though when we get pressure and make sacks. Like at some points, 3rd and 8, you don't want to send 5 guys. You want to send 3, but I feel like I like gambling more and sending 5, fucking trusting our corners and going, trusting our guys in the front of the line to get back there.
Mhm.
Like the bend don't break mentality, I don't really like that. Like it's not. I don't think it's what we're going for. But if that is what we keep on seeing, then that's gonna come back and bite us in the ass, brother.
Mhm. Yep, I
Like
agree.
that's playing not to lose. It's not playing to win. Bend don't break is playing not to lose. Do you agree?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's situational. Like to your point, I don't think we're like trying to do that necessarily. It's just kind of the
Yeah.
way of the game and how the schemes break down. But yeah, you're right. Overall, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah. So the defense, dude, freaking hats off to those guys. Only allowed 7 points. At the end of the day, only allowed 7 points.
Two sacks, 6 tackles for losses. Got some pressure on them now and then. I didn't really feel like we overwhelmed the line of scrimmage, but we did
No,
enough to rattle some cages.
no, definitely. And then how about the Nebraska guys on defense, dude? Isaac Gifford, John Bullock, Phelan Sanford, Nick Heinrich, 4 of the top 5 tacklers on the team, bro, for this game. And then, yeah, 4 of the top 5 guys are Nebraska corn-fed, born and raised fellas. And Phelan Sanford, a guy who's come in for Singleton. This kid's from like, did you see that video of him last year on Twitter where he's fucking wrangling a cattle in his backyard?
Huh.
Bankelman, Nebraska.
Where the
Where
folks
the
at?
fuck is that?
Where the fuck is that?
Where the fuck is that, brother? I have no fucking clue. But I will tell you what, Phelan is playing his ass off. Senior, his time to be in there, dude, and he's making the most of it. I freaking Phelan's firing me up, dude. He forced that fumble with what that Tommy Hill recovered.
Yep, that was a nice hit, and it's nice to see him, like you said, come in for Singleton. He's been mainly on special teams practically, and to have him have a good game, that's awesome. Bankelman, Nebraska, in the middle of fucking nowhere, almost in the Panhandle, population 800 people.
800 people. Phelan Sanford, dude. So badass, man. That's what Nebraska football is all about right there.
Yep, and I want to talk about the special teams just because the main reason is because we also had that nice muffed kickoff for like recovery. That was sick.
Very next play after Heinrich has a hole big enough for 2 semi trucks side by side to go through, and he
Yeah.
fucking takes it in. And then you're all fired. Did you see the Husker Rap radio reaction for that one?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
I don't remember it either, but I do
Hey,
remember the touchdown.
yeah,
Yeah, dude, that shit was sick.
yeah. Special teams, just because we're talking about it. The only thing, man, Tristan's got to just kind of get dialed on these field goals. He missed another one where he's 3 for 7, if I have that right overall, 43% on field goals this season. You
Yeah,
just want to be him a little more polished up, but we're gonna give him this year. We're gonna give him this year, and hopefully at the end of the year, when we're playing the Wisconsins, the Iowas of the world, we don't have those issues of the missed field goals.
yeah. I want. It's the thing where the kid's a true freshman, and more than anything, it's jitters. That field goal he missed though was not his fault. It was a mishandled snap. It was a mishandled snap. The ball if it was Bashini or Bleekrode, I don't know who it was, but the ball was sideways when he kicked it. So we'll give
Mm.
him that one the benefit of the
Hmm.
doubt. He had the
Yep.
leg. He has the leg for all of them.
Yeah.
He's not fucking going short of the goalposts. He has the leg. He just needs to fucking dial in and hit those puppies down the middle.
Yep.
But those first two right down the middle, good looking kicks. And who knows if that third one would have been held right? That's made also,
Yeah.
you know. What else for special teams? I mean, Bushini, he's the same dog that he was last year. I think the only fucked up one he had was against Colorado. Um, I remember that he had a fucked up punt, but all the other ones, dude, Bushini, he's just doing his thing.
And honestly, special teams is one of those things that like, you forget about until something bad happens. So if you have nothing to say about something, that means it's fine.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And going back to that muff punt, dude, that was pretty sick because they were about to say it was Illinois' ball, and then it literally touches the dude's funny bone.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, that muff punt. Yeah, touched his freaking funny bone, and then it's our ball.
Dude, my balls were in my throat during that play. So that play is the one where they were punting to us and the Illinois dudes getting
Oh
pretty
yeah,
locked up with one of our guys. And then everybody thought it hit our guy so they could recover the ball. They got the ball, but upon further review, it nicked the funny bone of the Illinois player.
yeah. Oh yeah, I forget that the muff kickoff that was totally different than the punt. We didn't score off of the punt; we scored off of the kickoff.
Yep, yep, yep.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, that was badass, dude. I know. I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me, dude? There's Nebraska football for you, man."
Yeah.
Um. All right, offense. These pesky offensive fellas, man. What do you got to say about the offense? I'm gonna say red zone. That's my
Yeah,
one word.
yeah,
Red
yeah.
zone.
That's a good one word, Ed. I think consistency is also a decent word to use because you string along a couple drives where you're like, yo, we look competent. We scored on the first two of our three drives, or maybe it was like 3 out of 4. Um, and it was like, okay, we're gonna put some points on these guys. But then like the middle of the game, and then we were kind of lulling a little bit, and then the fourth quarter we have those 2 red zone fumbles, and we're like, holy shit, we're gonna let
Yeah.
these guys back in this shit.
I think the word finish goes hand in hand with red zone. 2 red zone fumbles. And then there was, I mean, dude, come on, man. I swear that like we were inside the 5 yard line, and then it was either a penalty or a fumble that we didn't fucking score, dude.
Yeah,
Like I was trying to find the red zone stat. I don't know like our red zone efficiency for
percentage.
this game. Yeah, percentage. But I saw 3 in the fourth quarter. I rewatched a little bit of the game today. I was skipping through it. 3 times in the fourth quarter we were in the red zone and didn't fucking score somehow. Missed field goal, I think, fumble, and then
Another
um
fumble.
yeah.
We had two
What like
fumbles within the 15-yard line.
yeah, that's ridiculous, bro. That's friggin' ridiculous. Anthony Grant, Emmett Johnson, those boys need to like go through the washing machine with
And the
the
thing
football in their
is
hand.
I don't remember Anthony Grant having like the drop narrative around him last year as he has this year because
Uh-uh.
it's followed him through spring, through that first game in Minnesota when it was the pivotal turnover, and then he's had a couple throughout the year. So it's like, what is it a mental thing for him? Because I don't really think it's a real characteristic, I guess, is my thought.
No. And that's the thing that like sucks, bro, because he wasn't on him last year, but now since that narrative is around him,
Uh-huh.
don't think that he's not thinking about it, dude. If it's in the
Exactly.
back of your head, like it's so hard to get it out. And it doesn't even matter if you're consciously thinking about it. Like at some point in the game, it's probably like, don't fucking fumble. Don't fucking fumble. If you think about it too hard, then it's gonna like slip, you know?
Yeah, or even like just like the subtle things your boys say in the huddle of like, "Hey man, you got this. You're gonna be all right." Just even shit like that.
Yeah.
It's probably enough where it's like on his mind, it's on everybody's mind, and it's not like necessarily don't fucking fumble, but it's enough to create a rattle.
Right. Right. That sucks, man. And then so rush yards in total though, 158. Emmett Johnson, 7 carries for 29 yards. I'd say that besides the fumble, that's a pretty good showing for Emmett, dude. Coming in when Anthony Grant needs some rest. I think that's 4.2 yards average a carry. So Emmett Johnson, 7 carries, 29. I like that. He's a true freshman. He's got a lot of ways to go, but he's not a bad back when Grant needs a rest.
Yeah. And a lot of those carries came toward the end of the game when Grant got dinged up a little bit too.
Right. So let's talk about that, man. Anthony Grant, a little bit of an ankle injury. On that first drive after the goal line stop to get us out of their freaking 1 inch line, Haarberg threw a great pass, probably the biggest play of the season that I remember, besides for Fleek's 74-yard run.
Yeah.
Is there another one that you can
No,
think of?
no, I think you're
Another
right.
Heinrich,
Run.
like that 75-yard run from him. But like pass play wise,
Yeah.
I think that this was the biggest play. And then it wasn't that pass play, actually. No, it was a couple plays after where he's blocking,
Mm-hmm.
like almost non-contact, dude.
Yeah, he just got tied up with the Illinois guy, and then he falls down, grabbing
Yeah,
his knee. The whispers were ACL. I don't think anything official's come out, but I don't think that he's gonna play, which sucks because we have no. That's what been one of the things we talk about every week. Who
yeah,
the fuck are our receivers?
yeah. And Marcus Washington, a senior, a guy who's a leader, and
He was a captain this game.
yeah. So there's a leader, dude, and a guy that's not on the field being vocal. I think right after we saw Malachi Coleman come in for him,
Mm-hmm.
he made his first catch of the season today. Jalen Lloyd and Jaden Doss all were playing kind of for him. But what sucks about that, dude, is those are three true freshmen that are going to have to play more than 4 games and will most possibly burn all their fucking red shirts.
Yeah,
You can play 4 games and then still be a redshirt freshman. The next, if they're playing more than 4, dude, then all those guys have a year lost and they played only halfway through the season. You know?
which like I don't really get playing some of them that much because like we still have guys like Joshua Fleeks, Fedoni, Kemp. Like there's enough, I think, that you don't need to play them 4 games to burn the thing, but who knows? They know the personnel better than I do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but then also if you got fucking no disrespect, but only Ty Hahn and Alex Bullock, and then the other 2 guys who you're probably going to throw it to more than those two are Billy Kemp and Thomas Fedoni. They're just going to key off of those guys.
Yeah.
So you almost do have to switch up the personnel a bit
And
more
have a
than you
speed
want.
guy, have a deep threat, have someone taking the top off,
Yeah.
creating some
And
other looks.
yeah, Alex Bullock can catch. Ty Hahn can. I don't think he's even made a catch this season, but like Jalen Lloyd and Jaden Doss are a hell of a lot faster than those two. All are good blockers. I feel like
Yeah.
downfield blocking this season has been pretty spectacular with this wide receiver core.
Mm-hmm. Tyhan had only one catch this week for 21 yards. I remember it was a pivotal one, but that was it.
Yeah.
Heinrich
So
Haarberg, 12 for 24, 154 passing yards. Not great completions percentage there, Ed. It's kind of been the same thing week in, week out
I don't think that this stat though is as bad as what it looks like.
on paper.
Honestly, no, I don't think. I think that he did things well enough passing wise in this game, at least, to where it allowed us to win. It didn't kill us. No, he had 1 interception, right?
Mm-hmm. Bad one.
Which, and dude, he zipped the ball a couple of times where the thing should have been picked,
Yeah,
honestly.
and
So
I
I might
did
take
catch
that
this.
statement back.
I did catch a couple clips from HHR, the broadcast, where you guys were like, "Oh, this guy's Patrick Mahomes-esque with the sidearms and shit." And the one thing my dad said was like, "Quit being so fucking cute. You're not Patrick Mahomes. You don't have that kind of arm talent. He's out here trying to rifle some certain looks. It's cool, it's nice, but it's not what we need."
I think it's more Uncle Rico, get the ball out in ways where you're not going to get it out over the top. Because he's had quite a few batted down, and what he's doing isn't more Patrick Mahomes, but more Uncle Rico, where it's fucking swagger. He like He's watched a
Motherfucker,
play of
hey, bro,
dynamite.
that swagger's not working a high percentage of the time, though. That's the issue.
I want to see all of Heinrich's passes and get back on
Yeah,
this.
we'll keep you posted on that one. We'll have
Um,
homework to do on that one.
yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. He 156 yards is not a lot, but then he found Fedoni wide open. A lot of what he does do though, he's not a telepathic passer. He's moving his eyes around the field. Do you notice
Te-
that?
Telegraphic,
Yeah,
like he's not
telegraphic.
showing them what they want. Yeah, yeah, not showing them exactly
Correct.
what he's going to do. Yeah, being obvious.
No, he's going down his progressions and making reads. He's not just, X fly and that's what he looks at the whole time waiting for him to get open. No, he makes his way down the checklist, which is
Yeah,
good for sophomore quarterback, dude.
yeah.
And I've heard on Twitter so I don't even want to fucking talk about Heinrich or Sims or for some reason. I'm
I don't think we need to talk about it. Well, the only thing we would need to maybe mention is that Heinrich was banged up a little bit toward the end. He was hobbling around, but at this point, I think it's going to be Heinrich
really
the rest of the way unless he's hurt. Yeah, he has a knee wrapped up and he was hobbling around, but I think he'll probably be fine because we have a bye week and then it's Northwestern. So I think
he
Heinrich's
took a
going to be our
knee at
guy.
the he took a knee at the end of the game though, right? Purdy didn't come in at all, did he?
I know nobody else came into my knowledge now.
So did they say it on the commentary? Or did you see his knee wrapped up?
I saw his knee wrapped up and he was hobbling around. And toward the end of the fourth quarter, he was like for visually like limping.
Okay.
So it's probably nothing that's going to show up in like the injury report type shit, but it's something to like note. I think that Heinrich's going to be the guy the rest of the year unless he's hurt.
Yeah, dude, with the momentum that's going on right now, like just team like from a team perspective wise, to put in back Jeff Sims when it's like a Tommy Frazier, Brooke Berringer thing, dude.
Right.
It really is. Where it's like, I mean, Brooke, he's winning the games for us and they're doing it, but then there's going to be some teammates who are like, why are we putting Tommy back in when Brooke has taken us to this far? But then
Mm-hmm.
also there's other teammates where it's like, well, Jeff never technically lost the starting job. He just got injured.
Well, to what we know, like I feel like Coach Rule isn't going to say that someone wins or loses the job.
Well, I don't know, dude. That sparks competition, and that sparks like, all right, well,
There
I
was a
need to get
press
my guy back.
conference that I watched a couple weeks back when Heinrich first started. I think it was after La Tech or right around that game. He said that Coach Rule doesn't have like a list of like who's starting and who's not. It's because it's actually breeds more competition if you don't know who's going to start because then you're not resting on your laurels. Because you're
Oh,
like
okay. That's another way to.
I'm not out here just practicing because I know I have to start a job. I'm going to work my ass off to show that I earned the spot, kind of deal. Was
What
that
makes
perspective?
me feel like Sims is still hurt and it's a worse injury than what Matt Rule is saying though, is because he came in for that one play against Michigan and he fucking ran it and then hobbled off the field.
I think that was La Tech when Heinrich lost his helmet.
Oh, it was yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
Law Tech, you're right. So
and
that
that
was
was already
that
two
was
weeks ago.
that was 2 weeks ago, and then we got the bye week, and then so now it's going to be 4 weeks. So I feel like next week it's going to be both of them should be 100% with the bye week,
Right.
and but yeah, I mean in my mind, dude, I just can't. Maybe you go just like the Tommy Frazier Book Beringer situation. You go, we'll play Brooke for the first quarter, Tommy for the second quarter. Whoever does better in those 2 quarters plays the second half.
I
Dude,
bet
it's
you.
exactly like Tommy Frazier, Brooke Beringer, dude.
It's not like that at all because neither of them
It's
like super
exactly
elite.
like it.
It's not
Why
like
is it
that
not exactly like it?
because you're talking about two guys that were like elite and super good, and in this situation, we're talking about two dudes that on record, Coach Rule has said they do the exact same thing. So to have one guy start 2 games, get hurt, and then this other guy come in and spark a different thing within the team, creating wins. I think it's just also a momentum thing. Like this guy's working, let's keep him in compared to try to go back to something that we don't need to force, I guess.
That's how it is similar. That's how it is similar to the Tommy Frazier Brooke Beringer situation though. It's similar because Brooke sparked the momentum and Tommy would not have not won those games, but it was Brooks' team where they were like, all right, now So now you're going to take away our quarterback who won all these games and then just put Tommy in.
Right. Right.
But what it's not different like though is it's not 100% the same. What is different is Jeff Sims
Isn't gonna
is
light.
Tommy Frazier.
Yeah, yeah. He's not like lighting shit up. Yeah.
He lost the first
Right.
2 games.
Right.
It is
That's my thought, I guess.
yeah. And I think it's all about momentum, dude. And you put fucking Heinrich in because he's the one who's winning games, not throwing as much picks. Had that one fumble that he landed on where it was totally his fault. He looked up before he caught it completely.
The snap,
But he
yeah.
dove on it. And he didn't make a mistake that Sims was doing where he tried to pick it up. He dove on that bitch.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, man.
The only other thing, penalties, we had 10 of them, 70 yards. You already mentioned that. Kind of a lot of them came at shit timing.
A lot of shit timing penalties, a lot in the red zone. But did you hear that in Matt Rule's presser where he said that a lot of those false starts were from Illinois yelling like Q words?
Yep. Which we always get fucking penalized for when we clap or do something. But these dudes were yelling like go and like okay and stuff like that, which are very close to like a snap cadence.
Right. And I feel like, yeah, I know. That's just one of those iffy ones where it's like, oh, fuck, then maybe is it cheating or is it like
I think it's using
type deal?
Yeah, well, it's also like if I'm Illinois, I'm doing that until I get in trouble.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, if the refs aren't going to call it, then fucking do it. But the refs should have maybe, looked into that a little more. How many of those penalties were false starts? It was quite a bit. Prohaska had like the first 2, and then he got taken out.
Fedoni had a false start and a legal shift, I believe. I think he had 1 or 2 penalties on him.
Yep. And then Ben Scott had a bullshit personal foul where he was just finishing out a block, but that was a crucial one in the red zone.
That was awful. That Ben Scott late hit personal foul, that was fucking awful where the dude was laying on the ground and Ben Scott tackled. The dude was on the ground.
You think that the personal foul was bad?
If we're talking about the same one where we're like on like the 10-yard line and the dude's on the ground and Ben Scott, the play's almost over anyway, and Ben Scott's hitting a dude that is nowhere near the play. I can get why they call that one. And you watch when that replay happened, I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's also what are we doing? But that I do like that he has that dog in him to where he wants to finish until the whistle goes. That's what you always hear from coaches is finish till the whistle. And he is on the ground, but Buddy could have got back up and still made the tackle. I mean, it could go either ways. And I guess football is turning into that pussy sport where nobody wants to get anybody hurt. Mm-hmm. But Ben Scott wanted to hurt somebody on that play, and I'm okay with that. But it sucked that it was on the 10-yard line.
Yeah. Another thing I had written down, the time of possession, we had it for 37 minutes. They had it for just under 33. I liked that. We have the ball for a long time. We just got to finish. The season penalties and the season stats, we have 38 penalties, 320 yards. That's an average of over 6 penalties a game for 54 yards a game. It's kind of high.
That's pretty high.
And our turnover margin's -6. Hate that one.
That's not good either. So it was 0 this game, right? Turnover margin. Yeah, we've yet to win the fucking turnover margin, and except unless it was against Law Tech or NIU games, I really don't like we're gonna win anyways.
Yeah, I think we had plus against them, but I mean that's how it should be.
All right, folks. Motherfucking picks for week 7 that Nebraska is not in. Let's start off like we always do. Actually, Aaron, let's switch it up, pal. What do you think here, huh?
Let's do I like it.
Not the Big Ten. Ooh. The rest of the Power 5, the 4 other conferences, you know the ones. Let's start with the Big 12, the conference that Nebraska used to be in, but not anymore.
You want me to go first? All right. First, I have one word for this weekend for out of conference games. Overs. This is overs only for Aaron this week. And the game I liked the most was Iowa State at Cincy over 47. that was just an easy pick. I think it was the lowest total for all the Big 12 teams and all the Big 12 games, and it just looked good.
Iowa State at Cincy over 47. Nice. All right. I picked two here because I picked two for the Pac 12 and Big 12 because I felt like we might have had the same pick and I didn't want to do that again. But I didn't have either of those. I had BYU at TCU. This is one I'm most confident with out of the two. I'm not even going to say my other one. BYU at TCU plus 4.5 Mormons. I like that.
Wow.
I like that. BYU underdogs, but they're like 4-1, and TCU's fucking 2-3 or 3-2 or some shit.
Yep.
It's at TCU, but buddy, Mormons, dude.
I like that
Another
pick.
soak fest.
And I even
The
see it
boys
over
have been
here at
soaking a lot
-5.
of weeks out of 5, dude.
Honestly,
Guys have been
bro,
getting soaked.
every time you and I have taken BYU, we're getting soaked, and it feels
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I like that
Um,
pick.
Pac-12, some good games in the Pac-12. UCLA, Oregon State, not even the best one at all. Oregon, Washington. I'll tell you what, buddy, that's going to be a fucking shootout for the ages.
Uh-huh.
Notre Dame, USC. I think both of those teams at least are really going to show um if like dude, I feel like it might be a fucking blowout between one of the two, but I don't know which one of the two it would be.
Are
Cuz
you saying
UCLA
between those two games you just listed?
no. Between Notre Dame and SC
Okay.
because SC's defense is fucking dog shit. But Notre Dame just seems like, yeah, they kept it close with Ohio State. Lost to Duke though. Like guys are almost like they are every year in the top 10 at the beginning of the season, then they just fall down to fucking unranked, you know.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah. I
Notre
mean, they had a
Dame,
lot of hype around them. You're right. They had one good win against NC State. And other than that, they've been losing machines.
yeah. So I don't even have that game though. What I do have, Aaron, is Oregon Washington over 67.5. That's a lot of points, but both of these offenses are firepower machines. Oregon's defense, a little better. So that's why I think that they actually do win. But it's going to be whoever has the ball last.
It's one of those games.
One of
And
those
the
games.
and these are this is a great game, Eddie, because we have two quarterbacks playing great all year, two Heisman contenders. This is a
Yeah.
Heisman moment. This is a Heisman potential moment, and I'm gonna be watching this game, bro. I'm gonna be chewing my nails. Um,
Because you got a bet on it?
the thing is I wanted to do the over, but it's a lot of points for me. I went UCLA at Oregon State over 54. That's what I
I,
wanted to.
that was
Both
the
these teams
second
could,
game that I had.
yeah, both these
I
teams
had
could
it
score some
minus
points.
3.5 Oregon State, but I just like the I like the almost the idea in my head more than how many points that it could actually be. I just like a Pac-12 shootout, Oregon
Uh,
Washington, lots of fucking points. Is it a night game?
two
Pac-12
thirty,
after 2:30.
2:30 our time, so that means 12:30
Oh, that
your
kind of
time.
sucks, dude. I
So
kind of
it's
want to
really
go.
if it was a night game, whew. But honestly though, think about like a day, like watching a game of Oregon and Washington. That has to be a day game. It just seems like it'd be a day game anyway.
Yeah. Notre Dame and USC. Which one's that?
Uh,
4:30.
that's 6:30. Yep, 6:30 my time, Central Time. Yep,
Yep.
that'll be a
All
great game. Who would you hypothetically? Let's just talk a quick hypothetical. Who would you take in that game? Notre Dame, it's -2.5, over under 63.
right. I don't know, bro.
I
It's
think
in
my
South Bend, but I don't know if South Bend is like that even big of a fucking like home field advantage spot because they're just.
it'll be a night game. I would say USC. My balls tell me USC.
I mean, let me flip my little micro SD card because I don't have a coin. Oh fuck! I didn't even say which was heads and tails, so I don't know, dude. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know.
Well, let's go on over. How about the SEC? No, let's save SEC for last. Let's go ACC. I have a team, Eddie, Miami at UNC. I have the over 55.5. Did you see the ending of the Miami game last week against Georgia Tech?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
That was
I did.
ridiculous. Miami could have won the game by kneeling it out. Instead, they run the ball, fumble. Georgia Tech goes down and scores buzzer beater. They win.
Dude, honestly, what a fucking dumbass, dude. Like, what
Yeah.
do you say in the press conference after that? Apparently, he said that he wanted the running back to get 100 yards.
Oh, well, that's the only thing that makes sense then.
I mean, but still, that's a
Yeah.
shit of an excuse.
Yeah, I agree. Like win or lose a game, and you're like, I want my boy to get 100. The thing is as I'm thinking of, in a coach's head in the moment, he wasn't thinking logically. He was thinking with his heart. He was like, I want my boy to get 100 yards.
No, but you know what? You get paid millions of dollars a year to not make a fucking stupid dumbass mistake like that.
Yeah, I
Dude,
agree.
I bet you people are calling for that dude's head, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, I have the over 55.5 at UNC.
Miami will never win a championship again because they don't have a fan base. That's my hot take, dude. I mean, they have like a media, like a not they don't have a physical fan base. Nobody goes to those games in Miami, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well,
They just got
it's one of those UCLA Pasadena complexes where like the stadium's so far away from campus and the student body, so they have an issue with that. Apparently, this like new multi-million dollar facility stadium is going to be on campus and it looks dope.
Oh, they're
So
they're making a stadium on campus.
yeah, or
Didn't know that.
as far as I know, it's like close. Like it's not. I think they play at what Hard Rock, which is where the Dolphins play.
Yeah. I didn't know that they were making another stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What do you have for the ACC here, Ed?
I got the same, bud.
Uh,
And I did that's the conference that I didn't pick another one for.
that's all right. All the same reasons I assume over here. You're just points guy.
Yep.
Okay. SEC. I took Missouri at Kentucky over 53. Missouri's a decent ball club now. They lost to whoever last week. Um, Eddie picked that game.
Did I win?
You lost LSU at Missouri. Missouri was winning for a lot of the game. LSU ends up winning by
And then
10.
yeah, they won by
Yeah,
10.
but everybody thought Missouri was going to upset them. I think Missouri can score some points, and Kentucky just scored. They didn't score a lot against Georgia last week, but they're consistently over 20, so over 53.
What who Kentucky and who? I'm sorry.
Missouri at Kentucky.
Missouri at Kentucky
Yep.
over 53.
Yep.
I like that one, Aaron. I like that one.
Thank
I
you.
have Florida at South Carolina minus 2.5. Cox. Think it's home field advantage. Both teams. Did South Carolina lose last week? I didn't remember. I don't know. But I like the Cox on this one. I was gonna do. I think that Texas A&M and Tennessee will be a very, very, very good game. It's
Yeah.
at Tennessee, so they're doing the little checkered board deal, so that'll be fun.
Yep. The
But
Cox lost last week to Tennessee 41-20.
okay, but also Tennessee wanted some revenge because last year the Cox kicked their ass. So
Yep.
yeah, they scored like it was Tennessee or South Carolina scored like 63 last year against them.
So
Um,
are you intrigued about the what other game in the SEC? Wait, did you say you would have picked something in the A&M Tennessee game?
A&M and Tennessee, yeah, but the line's too close. And
Yeah.
all right,
There we go. Big Ten. Wow. Great slate of games. The one I have circled, Iowa at Wisconsin.
mm-hmm.
Wisconsin's favored by 10 points over under 36.5.
Dude, I feel like that's a pretty big line for even though like Iowa lost their quarterback, dude. I mean that game is usually fucking
Tooth and
very
nail.
close. Yeah, I got the over 36.5 on that one.
I like that. And what you were just saying, Eddie, was my thought too. too many points. This game's gonna be won by a field goal or 7 points, like or 6 under 10. This is not a 10 point margin of victory here. I have Iowa plus 10. I hate that. I hate that. But this is Big Ten football. This is Iowa, Wisconsin football. I've seen this game 100 times.
Yeah.
Close game. Close game.
Yeah.
Next
All
game,
right.
Indiana at Michigan. Michigan minus 34, over under 47 and a half.
Indiana at Michigan. I was going, before the Michigan played us, they didn't score more than 35 points. But now these last two games, probably the best two Big Ten opponents they've played so far, and they fucking won by more than 30 points from both of those teams. By both of those teams. That being said, Michigan minus 34 and a half blowout in Ann Arbor.
Blowout. I like that. I like the over. 34 is just a lot of points. I like the over because I think Michigan can score 47 and a half by themselves, 48 points by themselves.
Yeah,
So I guess that would also like lead you to believe that the spread would be covered, but over. Next game, Ohio State minus 19 and a half at Purdue, over under 50.
over.
Over.
Over. Over. That's all I got to say.
Over. I have Ohio State minus 19 and a half. 3 touchdowns.
Okay. You think that if they did it to Maryland, they're going to do it to Purdue?
Yeah, Maryland scores more points than Purdue.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
game, Michigan State at Rutgers. Rutgers minus 5.5. Over under 40 and a half.
How about that, dude? Good for the Rutgers who are finally not like the fucking they play Rutgers, easy W. It's not that anymore for these guys. I mean, for Nebraska, it's not that for us. And for Michigan State, apparently, they're the dogs in this one. So fire me up, Rutgers, -5 Rutgers
I love
at
that.
Rutgers.
I'm low key a Rutgers fan. I had a burner account last year, Eddie, for college football, and I made friends with the College Football Talks fan page, and he's a Rutgers fan, and we shot some DMs back and forth about Rutgers and Nebraska football.
No way, dude. That's
Yeah.
that dude. That's like inside stuff because apparently nobody knows what fan he is.
Oh, it was just one of the parody ones. It wasn't something fucking crazy, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Um, I had the over of Michigan State at Rutgers. It's only 40 and a half.
Michigan State at Rutgers, the over.
40 and
Yeah.
a half. I
I
like
don't know
that.
if either of these two fucking teams' offenses are, but yeah, you're right. 40, dude.
Yeah, it's
That's
40.
that's true.
I
That's
feel like
true.
I feel like 40 is not that much, and I can see this being like a 21-28 game.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
UMass at Penn State. Penn State minus 43 favorites, over under 57 and a half.
Now, Aaron, you said 34 is a lot of points for a team to get beaten by 42 and a half. That's a lot too, but I'm taking Penn State 42 and a half.
You have it 42 and a half. All right, I'll move
Yeah,
it.
UMass gets fucking drilled, bud.
Dude,
UMass gets plowed.
I love that you were thinking that because I thought the same thing, but I just don't have the balls to say that. I went with the under 57 and a half. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I feel like UMass scores 0 points, but I don't know if Penn State's going to
Yeah.
score over 57 by themselves. I think UMass is
Yeah.
not going to score a point though.
I like that. If you think that UMass isn't going to score anything, then that's a good bet.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to score.
Yeah. Okay.
Last Big Ten game, Illinois at Maryland. Maryland's minus 14.5 point favorites, over under 51.
Go ahead, Aaron.
You know me, every week, go Terps. Maryland minus 14. Illinois fucking sucks at
Yeah,
Maryland.
I'm on the same thing, dude. I mean, dude, we should have won against Illinois by fucking what 20 like 32. Maryland's not going to make the same mistakes that we do in the red zone.
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't think their defense is as good as ours, but their offense is slightly better,
Yeah.
probably a lot of bit better.
Yeah.
So Maryland beats Illinois by 14.
Like Illinois might
Illinois is
score 20.
demoralized.
I think Maryland scores like over 40 points, like 45 points, something nuts.
Illinois is fucking demoralized at this point, dude. They're fucking done. They're done,
Yeah.
bro.
They couldn't even win on the eve of the death of Dick Butkus. If they
Yeah,
can't win that week, they're not going to win this week. No.
yeah,
They just
yeah.
lost to us.
That was the easiest one for the Big Ten this time.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was the
same.
easiest one.
That was the first one I looked at, and I just was like Maryland minus 14. I don't have to think about that.
Yep. So, dude, bye week. I mean, I'm kind of sad, dude. I want Husker football.
I
That's what I
know.
look forward to every single week. Like I don't know.
It's one of those things right now where I agree. I'm sad because I don't have anything to look forward to this weekend, but I'm also a little relieved because I just know that Nebraska is not going to lose. And I
It's
just,
also good for the team, bro. It's a very
yeah,
good time for this bye week to be. I think like a lot of guys can get refreshed. You know, Grant with that little ankle injury, hopefully it's not too big. A week off would be very helpful for him.
uh,
Marcus Washington, if his is the case, but I feel like Marcus Washington is a lot worse, dude.
yeah, that's what they always say. The ones like that are not like super contact are the worst, right?
Yeah. But then also I think that um let's talk about well that said where this is the best week to have a bye week. This is also the easiest schedule that we're going to ever have in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
Did we say this in the last podcast?
Yeah, we did mention this,
Yeah,
but
we did.
we
We
can
did.
run through it quick. I mean, all we got left is
No.
Northwestern.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Northwest. I just want to look through it quick.
Win.
Northwestern Purdue
Win.
at Michigan State,
Win.
Maryland at home,
Win.
at Wisconsin,
Win.
Iowa at home.
Win. Nebraska goes 9-3,
Nine and
and they
three.
play in San Diego, and the boys are going to be at the bowl game, dude.
That's all that needs to be said, baby.
Let's go. Also, but I do want to talk about next year's schedule really, really quick. We play the big top dogs on that schedule are UCLA in Lincoln, Ohio State. I forget which ones that's at. And then USC at the Coliseum. Folks, if you don't know, Ed Rosenthal lives about an 40 minutes to an hour, depending on when you go up there from USC. So, buddy, and I know you're coming down for that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
My dad's coming down. We're going to have a lot of people there, and I'm going to try to get enough people to get a fucking party bus up to that thing.
Dude, that's what I
And
said. That'd be fucking lit.
how sick would that be, dude, if we got enough people for a party bus? And then that'd be 20 guys, 20 plus guys rolling into the Coliseum wearing bleed red shit corn t-shirts.
Dude, it's gonna be rowdy.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of red in that stadium because the Coliseum has no faithful.
No.
And there's
No.
Huskers around the nation, around the
No,
world.
but I think that there's going to be a lot more people than you expect it because they're going to be like, yo, there's going to be a lot of Huskers up in this bitch. We gotta match this, you know.
They ain't
But
matching
they're not
shit.
gonna.
They
They're
ain't
not
matching
gonna.
shit. They ain't
No.
matching
No, no,
shit.
no, 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 no. And then the year after that, Nebraska's at UCLA. So 2 years in a row, Nebraska's playing in Southern California. Boy, am I excited.
It's a good time to live in SoCal.
Yeah, dude. For real. All right. Well, I think that we end it, man. Good
Yeah.
pod. I enjoyed speaking with you. A little bit longer than what we've had during the season, but I think that just a lot of good things to talk about for the Illinois game. I think that this team is, I don't know, man. I'm proud of these boys.
Uh-huh.
And I just see a lot more positives than negatives, especially with the defense. That's a legit fucking defense, dude. You can call those guys black shirts. For the past 5 years, you go, are we even allowed to call this unit the black shirts? I think that now you can say that this team is back to being a black shirt football team, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
And offense getting better every week. I say that we take Michigan, we rip that page out of our minds and just look at the progression of the offense every week, and it's getting better.
Bro, the Minnesota game hurts me more than the Michigan one does for sure, but we'll say that for another week.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we could be 4-2, we can be 5-1, whatever. We're not speaking hypotheticals.
Yeah, we'll
But
talk about it next week too. We're gonna look at the Big Ten halfway through the season, folks. So don't forget to tune in next week at Husker Hype Radio. Follow us Instagram, YouTube. We need YouTube subscribers.
I'll give you just a quick hint or a quick little sneak preview for the next podcast. Folks, Nebraska wins the Big Ten West. Yeah.
And it's not even like a surprise. We've been saying that all year. We've been saying it all year, Ed.
Yeah, no. If you listen to Husker Hype Radio, you know that Nebraska always wins next week. They just might not win on Saturday, but they're going to win next week. If that makes any sense.
Yep, I agree.
All right, man. That was episode 23 of Husker Hype Radio Podcast. I'm Eddie Rosenthal. That's Aaron Worsfold. Bleed red, shit corn, go
big red.